Hey everyone, welcome to Heart Tea Ranch. My name's Tammy Yost-Wildin, and this is Tammy's Tips. Today we're going to talk about the question that rolls around every fall. Should I blanket my horse? Here in Montana, we are well into winter, and it never fails. People ask me, should I blanket my horse? Should I not blanket my horse? So I'm going to go through a few things that you need to consider when making that decision. But first, click on the Heart Tea Ranch brand down at the bottom of the screen so you don't miss a single video that I put out to help you on your riding journey. So first, is your horse cold? Is he shivering? If you go out after a storm and your horse is shivering, he's cold. So then you need to consider, does he have proper shelter? At least a windbreak, preferably a covered shelter. Doesn't have to be a stall, but they need to be able to get out of the wind, the rain, the snow, to be able to dry their hair off so they can get warm. You may not know this, but how a horse's body stays warm is, number one, their hair is quite hollow. It fluffs up and traps air between the pieces of hair, and that warms and helps to insulate the horse's body. So if you see a horse that has a crust of snow over their back and they're happily out grazing in the field, it's really because nature has given them this kind of pseudo blanket, and underneath the hair is fluffed up and keeping them warm. If it rained first and then snowed on them, that hair is going to be flattened down. They're going to be quite cold. So those are things to consider. You know, the comfort of your horse depends on the conditions that led to the snowpack being on his back. Personally, if my horses are covered in snow, I'm going to go and check them out and make sure they're okay. The second thing you want to consider in the are they cold situation is their age and their condition. So young horses and old horses that maybe don't carry the condition, meaning the fat, natural fat covering over their ribs, over their body to help them stay warm. If it's not there, then you need to replace that with a blanket. I also don't want my young horses and my old horses burning excess calories to stay warm, right? So I'd like them to be using those calories to stay healthy in the winter instead. Number three, are they being ridden? Are they being used? I personally don't enjoy going out and getting a fired up dragon of a warm blood with ice and snow on his back, brushing him off, saddling up, and trying to ride. So my horses, I like to be blanketed so I can pull that blanket off, have warm back, warm muscles. It also helps to prevent injury to horses that are in work in the winter months. Number four, is your horse clipped? And that goes back to the are they in work topic. If your horse is in work and he's getting overheated, you've probably body clipped him in some way to help alleviate that overheating and excess time drying them off before you can turn them back out in the field. So those horses that you take hair off of, you need to replace that insulation. So that gets down to layering of blankets, and that's a whole nother video. Watch for that coming next about how to properly blanket a horse that requires it. So recap, number one, is your horse cold? Number two, consider the aging condition. Number three, is he in work? Number four, is he clipped? Those are the things you need to evaluate to decide if your horse needs a blanket. My 2-year-olds are out running in the field with appropriate shelter. They don't have blankets on. They're perfectly happy. They have a field to graze in, free choice, and they're supplemented additionally with hay. So they have plenty of forage to also keep that furnace internally burning with the digestion of roughage. And that's the other thing I would mention is that grain doesn't keep horses warm. Forage, the digestion of forage is what keeps them warm. So keep those things in mind. I hope this helped you in your decision-making process, and we'll see you next time.